Got an idea for a podcast and think you have the talent to make it a reality? Already have a podcast but been thinking you could take it up a notch, but you're just not sure how to do it? Well, Toxic Entertainment has everything you need to go from podcasting to podcasting. Bring us your talent, your passion, and your best ideas. We'll bring to the table our state-of-the-art technology and comfortable facility, creative and professional staff dedicated to bringing your ideas to life, competitively priced packages to suit your goals and budget, and over 10 years of experience as a leader in the podcasting field. Toxic Entertainment offers quality and affordability that can't be beat. When you're ready to start your journey, Toxic Entertainment is here to help you reach your destination. Learn more at toxicentertainment.net or call 888-66-TOXIC to arrange a studio tour. That's 888-66-86942. Toxic Entertainment, where creativity meets passion.
In the beginning, there was radio.
The radio is one of the outstanding developments of the 20th century.
A radio transmitter was used for large-scale public entertainment.
Then came computers.
You got to keep up with the times, you know.
Imprints of man's never-ending path of progress.
Back in my day, we didn't have no fancy computer boxes to use.
Shall we play a game?
The internet tied it all together.
The internet gave us a whole world of exciting new possibilities.
A bright new era dawning. A new dimension in communications.
It is possible to establish communication instantaneously from any place at any time.
And now it's the 21st century. And we've made it all toxic.
Hold on to your hats. Okay, we're ready to roll.
This is Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
What's up, everyone? That's right, you're back to Take It Deep. Special surprise premiere 7 p.m. episode. So, yeah, I'm here. You're here. Let's do this. We're going to talk about Taco Bell. Everybody's favorite fast food. Taco Bell's got to at least be top 3, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember. Oh, looks like someone else is having mic problems, too. Look at the irony.
No, it's just I'm used to being over on the switch board, the video switcher. When I'm talking to you, I'm on the actual audio board today. So
Taco Bell's got to be top 3.
Top 3 what?
Fast food.
No, I think you've discussed this before.
Fast food
I do
pizza
not
we
agree
have.
with you. What's that?
Fast food pizza. How can it not be top 3? Taco Bell's pretty up there.
Top 3 fast food of all time.
Like currently, like you can go buy it now. All right, so what do you put above Taco Bell?
Burger King.
Burger King. Why?
Dead serious. I don't know what it is about. Taco Bell is kind of cliche now. Taco Bell's like the go-to, and you don't feel good about yourself after you've just scarfed down a ton of tacos and burritos. But Burger King,
don't
after,
be such a fat ass.
after I eat a Whopper, like I feel like I could eat another one. I'm not going to, but I feel like I could. And that's why I consider Burger King higher up than Taco Bell. And even coming in under Burger King but above Taco Bell, Wendy's. And Wendy's, because you can get decent food more so than you can get anywhere else. And I'm talking about a baked potato. I'm talking about chili. I'm talking about, you know, the way that the burgers are made with like that they're actually stacked high.
All right, so here's the thing about that. What's the latest you've ever gone through a drive-through in your life? Like
like latest, like time wise.
Yeah, and
probably like 1 or 2 a.m. Just
okay.
like anybody else, I would think.
So I was thinking today, I was reading a lot of news articles, and I was thinking that we have a lot of entitlement in this country going on specifically. I'm pretty sure it exists in other parts of the world, but I live here most of the time. So entitlement, and things going on, and Warren's going to bring up the video in a second, but there was a lady, it went viral on TikTok, She was rather upset because she got to the Taco Bell at 4:03 a.m. and they were closed. But here's the thing. They closed at 4 a.m. She feels like they should have kept the Taco Bell open late for her or later or should have obliged to her order. And it's 4:03. She had, I'm going to assume they opened up at 6, 18 fucking hours to get there where she could have got some taco smell. But instead, she waited till 4:03. And, you know, the more I read about the story, the more I thought, man, there's a lot of entitled people around. And they feel entitled to those people's time. Wherein they know damn right well, if they were in the reverse position and someone was trying to keep them 3 minutes longer at their job, they probably wouldn't be having it at all. You know, I, for one, I have gone to restaurants before they close. But I'm very hesitant to do that. I feel embarrassed. I don't want to piss people off. I'll even ask if, you know, I'm in a position where I'm somewhere I can say, is this too late? I don't, you know, if the kitchen's off, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? You turn, you know, whatever the place is, you know, if the kitchen's closed, you know, I don't go in there like that. And they're like, no, we're fine. You know, certain menus. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, but certain people are like, I want the full menu. I know you close at 9. It's 8:59. I made it in the fucking door. I want it now. Now. This is Amazon Prime, right? I want it now. So these employees, I thought, handled it pretty well. Pretty hilarious. Warren's going to tee up the first video. Warren, are we ready to fire off there, sir? Take your time, because we're still talking about this.
But this is wasting my gas, and it's not fair to your employees.
Now, notice how he's fake typing on the keyboard, like he's actually a customer service representative. Did you hear that voice? That sounded like a total Karen in the wild. She said, wasting my gas, like she was going to work for Taco Bell, and someone called her to be there. Screams of entitlement. Doesn't that sound like entitlement, Mike?
A little bit.
Just a little fucking bit. So anyway, I'll read on about the story as we talk about it. You know, so it just kind of blew my mind because her complaint is going viral on TikTok. An employee recorded the late night rant. You know, that we just showed you part one of it. There's 3 parts. You know, the original video had over 20,000 views. In the video, you know, it's posted by Taco Holes, which is a interesting screen name for it. An employee speaks with a customer who couldn't make the store's 4 a.m. closing time. First off, I would like to know where this Taco Bell is at because 4 a.m. closing time, I mean, you know, if you live around where I live, you go to Taco Bell in City Ave around 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., you're sitting there, you know, in line forever. There's people in line on foot from St. Joe's. It's crazy. But anyway, let's show you the second video as it continues on.
Okay, I'm typing everything up for a copy.
Okay, I would appreciate that. And please include the staff there tonight.
All right, so that's part 2. We're going to go to part 3. Now, I'm going to describe to the audience that isn't viewing the video. He's fake typing on the keyboard. He's making the sound that you've come accustomed to hear from certain customer service agents. You know, typing makes you think they're busy. They're documenting the situation. He's playing the role. I don't know if he's the manager or not. He looks rather well dressed for a Taco Bell manager, so I'm assuming by his expensive plaid shirt that he is the manager. He may or may not be, but he's playing the role in there fully. And she wanted to make a complaint. So we're ready for number 3 in the finale. You know.
So I can send you a gift card if you like that, man. That's the only thing I can do at this time.
Okay, I would like that.
Okay, can I get your phone number for the gift card?
Yeah.
And your email address? Yeah.
Okay, so I would like that very much. So as soon as he gives her a gift card, funny story is I had something happen at Taco Bell, and their policy was if we give you the wrong order, and I went to there late night, got my Taco Bell, got home, and they fucked me on my order. So I called Taco Bell corporate. They said, hey, you know, you guys have this policy, and they send me a gift card. They would, and I'm still waiting for that gift card 4 years later. It never showed the fuck up. So it must be standard Taco Bell corporate policy to say, I'll send you a gift card. Will that make things better? And then it never shows up in the fucking mail. Has it ever happened, Mike, where someone said they would send you a gift card and it never showed up?
No.
No?
I think I won one off of Taking It Deep with the Godfrey. Never received that one.
That's because I spent it, bitch. Yep. I was like, this is for Mike, but it's time for a party. So,
oops. Sorry, I just posted in the chat room as taking it deep instead of myself. Oh, well.
Yeah. Mike's plagiarizing.
I just wrote tipping is a scam. But anyway.
Tipping, yeah. That wasn't me, folks. And it's funny Mike brings it up because we have another video that I sent over there.
Oh, this is the one I saw. I don't know if it is. I haven't talked to you about this
Let's see how shitty Mike
one.
is. All right. So this lady, I think, deserves a tip from everyone. They didn't ask her to do it. She didn't ask for a tip for this service. This is the video to help you guys out. The one where it says Instacart worker does something that wasn't asked. A very nice human moment. And let it roll.
Instacart. Husband had set our trash on the porch to take out later since he's sick. Our delivery driver, Kimberly, took it down for us in the rain without saying a word. Thank you so much for this act of kindness, Kimberly.
So, the part that was Instacart, the first part. By the way, let's give Warren a round of applause because TikTok videos are an extreme pain in the ass to play because of the way they set them up for you. You can't really stop and start them when you want to, like all the other videos. But he made it through, and we got the video on. So, congratulations to him. And so, basically, this lady was an Instacart driver and went to deliver groceries for people that had COVID. And basically, what happened was she left the trash out, and she took the trash to the curb for him. You know, to me, and they saw it on the Ring doorbell. Mike, is she worthy of a tip?
When you go above and beyond your regular duties,
would that be considered above and beyond?
Of your corporation, what you signed up for, then yes, you are worthy of a tip.
Wow, Mike would even give a tip on that one.
You are worthy again.
Wow,
a tip is worthy when you go above and beyond what your job description says that you are required to do.
Don't be offended, folks. Mike doesn't like to give just a tip. He likes to give the shaft.
If you do not go above and beyond your regular assigned duties, you don't deserve a tip. Sorry.
Fight.
Yeah. Well, listen, as you know, we can go off on the tipping rails on this show, but we won't do that today. We have other stuff to talk about.
Gene was in the chat room. He wanted to hear my logic.
Yeah. He's like, and you know, Tom's right. Customers aren't right when they always go full Karen. And the first thing to do is like, I would like to speak to corporate because someone in corporate is waiting to hear from you. And they think that there's some God in the corporate level that is sitting there waiting for their complaint individually. They're waiting for their feedback that they're going to use in a boardroom. I think they have a fantasy in their head that they're so important. She's like, I would like a gift card. I wasted my gas money coming to get Taco Bell. First off, she probably shouldn't be eating Taco Bell 4 in the morning. I'm going to guess by her voice, she shouldn't be eating Taco Bell 4 in the morning. All right?
I mean, I don't know other people's lives. I don't know what time they're getting done work. I don't know what time. Time is relative, so I'm not going to push that judgment off that Mr. Godfrey just did.
I am judged fully. She was being a cock. So, you know, my thing is you had 18 fucking hours. We're assuming they're serving breakfast. Let's say 11. You had 17 hours that this fucking place is open, and you show up at 4:03, and you're entitled enough to be like, you know what? I should still be served. First off, somebody might have worked a double. They want to get the fuck out of there. You're not working at Taco Bell, most likely. People don't want to, because if you worked at Taco Bell, you wouldn't know not to do that. Two, you know, that's not an easy job. I could say most people don't want to do that job, but some people do, thankfully. That way we can get cheap, you know, imitation Mexican food. And, listen, at the end of the day, just don't be an asshole. Take your ass to Wawa and go get the fucking meatballs that are left over or something.
Christ. Let me put another scenario.
If you live in this area.
Let me put another scenario in your head. You're all excited to go to Taco Bell. It's late at night. You know that they close at 1. You get there at 12:50. Excited because you're 10 minutes before they close. You get there and they're closed. And they closed early.
Should you? All right, so I could understand a disappointment, but you shouldn't be mad because you should have got your lazy ass up way earlier than that if you really wanted that bad. Let's be honest. Listen, I am not against the sticky green, but there's a lot of people that are puff passing. They're like, you know what would be a great idea? Let's get Taco Bell. It's probably 3:55 in the morning. They put on their fuzzy slippers and their ugly fucking jammies, and they got into their 1998 Civic and rolled up there. with a bad paint job that they got from their grandma. So they inherited it from their grandmother. So yeah, customers aren't always right, but yeah, fuck that. So another case of entitlement. You know, I haven't traveled yet, so I have to put it in down. I don't know how. Actually, I have traveled with a mask. You know, flying with a mask on sucks. I'm not going to sit here and say I like it. No one likes it. But sometimes in life, you got to get along, you know, to go along, right? And this lady in Philadelphia, I believe, got a flight returned. No, it wasn't Philadelphia. It was a flight going from Miami to Florida. And they had to turn the flight around. And I'd be pissed if I was in an international flight. Because when you eat, you could take it off. Just stuff your fucking mouth with something or something. They had to turn it around. Can you imagine that shit? You're on your way to an international flight, and somebody doesn't want to wear a fucking mask, and they had to turn it around. Are you mad at the person, or are you mad at the plane? I'm mad at the person.
I'm mad at the person because obviously you wore your mask just enough to be able to board the plane, sit down comfortably, take off, and then purposely decided to be a dick.
Yeah, I'm not even saying I agree with masking. I don't agree with masking. I'm not an anti-mask guy, as most of you know. But to me, it's just not important enough to fucking fight it, like, on that level. Like, you have to have something else going on to do that. So this is on CBS News. American Airlines flight to London returns to Miami after passenger refuses to wear a mask. Okay? So, an American Airlines flight from Miami had to turn around on Wednesday night after a disruptive passenger refused to wear a mask. The airline said American Airlines Flight 38 was heading to London with 129 passengers on board when it had to turn back. First off, most people are used to getting told what to fucking do on a plane. Turn your phone off. Do this, do that, do this, do that, right? I mean, okay. So, you eat some humble pie, shut the fuck up. I mean, I just feel like people are lashing out. And I don't even know if it's necessarily about that, or maybe they feel more emboldened, but they're lashing out maybe because they're hitting, you know, they're just at their wits' end, right? So the plane landed safely at International Miami Airport, where the flight was met by police. The airline said police said the passenger who was not arrested, wow, is a woman in her 40s. We thank our crew for their professionalism and apologize to our customers for their inconvenience, American said in a statement. The flight was apparently in the air for about an hour and a half before I had to turn around. Oh, that would fucking go up my ass, because I've flown to London from Philly. Literally. I would be pissed. If you're telling me I'm an hour and a half through a 7-hour flight, and now we got to turn the fuck back around because this motherfucker, I would have said something. I'd be like, why don't you put those dirty panties that you're wearing on your fucking face and wear that as a mask? Because we all have to sniff that. And we can't, you know, come on, man. Like, it's inconsiderate. Like, you know, it's another example of, I would call that self-entitlement.
Yeah.
So Laura says, I had a patient come in and get pissed off because they had to wear one. He yelled that they will wait in the car. It's the law. You have to wear a mask in a medical facility, dental office, so medical facility. I hate people. Yeah, I mean, listen, I have a beard. I hate wearing a mask, okay? I hate it just because I have a beard. And it's a pain in the ass. I don't like it, you know, and it's like, all right, why? There's other fights to pick in life. Like, people pick these weird fights these days. I feel like they're ready to die on the hill for such trivial bullshit, you know, and it's, who knows what it is, you know. Everyone was shocked, one passenger said. Another passenger said she was disappointed. They wouldn't really say anything and I don't believe they told the flight attendants anything either, because they said they would say there was an extreme incident with a passenger and they had to turn around, she's told. So, you know, that's what passengers are saying. The Federal Aviation Administration said it's seen a disturbing increase in the number of incidents involving unruly passengers. As of Tuesday, the agency said it's received 151 reports of unruly passengers so far this year, and 92 related to masks. So, listen, it's the deal. When you sign up to go on the goddamn roller coaster, you know you're going to have to wear a seatbelt or some kind of safety device if you're going to ride the plane. I have taken that flight to London at least 6 times, and I got to tell you, I would not look forward to wearing a mask the whole time. But if you're eating, you don't have to wear a mask. Does the rule make sense? I'm not even here to debate that. I would lean on the side that sometimes, no, it doesn't make sense. We're on a fucking canister for 7 hours. No, it doesn't make sense. However, I'm not looking there I'm not going there to fly to London and pay that money to fight the fucking mask rule. Like, that's not my intention of being there. I'm getting on the plane, and I'm traveling to get to point A to point B without any fucking disruptions. And some Karen makes us turn around. I mean, because you're losing an hour and a half, maybe a whole fucking vacation day, right? You're losing a whole vacation day because this asshole couldn't wear a mask. I would have started ripping off pieces of my underwear and throwing at her or something like that.
Just kind of start throwing poo?
Yeah, something like that. Now that's a reason to turn the plane around. Poo. But I mean, what are these people supposed to do? You've seen people actually try to commit physical violence against these people when they force the rules, and there are certain rules on a plane. You can't smoke a cigarette on a plane, right? Not allowed to do that. It's just, oh man, the things people like to cling to kind of show that they can't be told what to do is just kind of, I have to wonder what their sanity level is, right? So I don't know. Speaking of planes. Have you guys been paying attention to the AT&T Verizon? They're feuding with the government over a last-minute delay to 5G, meaning they want to deploy 5G. By the way, I learned that when they tell you to turn your cell phone off, it doesn't affect the plane. That's actually for cell phone companies. They don't want the cell phones to pull all this spectrum from their network while people are taking off. That's actually for cell phones. The reason why 5G is a difference is because the frequency is 44. I forget what range, but the end range is 44, and the aviation equipment is at 44. So it's too close. It starts at 44. So that's a problem, and they're saying it could cause interference. I don't know. Me personally, if I'm flying, and what it does is it can cause interference with the landing gear. So the pilot doesn't know how fucking far they are from the ground. Isn't that wonderful?
Obviously, they will be finding some kind of fix to this, if not just going without it, because it's gonna bring in so much money for the phone companies.
So airlines are worried those busier C-band airways will interfere with their equipment. This is the band that's in dispute for 5G. In particular, they're worried about radar altimeters, a device that bounces radio waves off the ground to give extremely precise altitude readings. It's a crucial device for landings, particularly in conditions with limited visibility. Oh, that's great. Cloudy night, is your 5G on? And relies on having an empty patch of spectrum to work. Faulty altimeter readings can also trigger automated responses from autopilot systems. In 2009, Turkish Airlines crash that left 9 dead. Great. As a result, the entire industry is deeply uncomfortable with anything that might interfere with altimeters. As an Airline Pilots Association put in a 2018 filing to the FCC, the public interest would not be served if tens of thousands of existing aircraft worldwide were inadvertently no longer provided a safety protection enabled by radio altimeter equipment, botch that word, due to interference from adjacent bands, bands meaning the spectrum. So this is another example of capitalism eating itself. Let's put the profits before the safeties, right? There has to be a compromise that could come here. And but they've tested this, right? Does this actually cause problems? This is a $65 billion question, as one tech trade group is fond of pointing out. This spectrum has already been rolled out in 40 different countries without any resulting altimeter failures, although some of these countries are operating at lower power levels. But the FCC has spent 3 years going back and forth with various airline groups on this question, and a lot of them are still worried. The FCC has a number of measures in place to prevent interference. There's a full 220 megahertz of clearance between the spectrum used by the radio altimeters, which starts at 4.2 gigahertz, and the new 5G spectrum, which ends at 390 megahertz. The FCC even carved out an extra 20 megahertz from the 5G holdings when the issue was raised in 2018 to give aircraft extra space. There also are several restrictions on how 5G towers could be configured near airports to avoid flooding the airwaves in areas where planes are landing. In a modern plane with a modern radar altimeter, it should be easy to avoid all interference. They're saying don't fly Spirit. That's what they're saying. Don't fly Spirit because you need to be in a modern plane. So
no matter what, with this whole idea of the metaverse and with wireless everything and cloud gaming and everything that's going on in the world right now, it's going to happen whether the airplane systems get their shit in gear or not.
This is why, though. So first off, airlines are known for cutting corners, as we all know. You ever get charged for a bag that's $1 over? Oh, it's a pound over. You're gonna have to pay an additional $50. Oh, okay. Do you have any KY? So, the
Ew.
problem.
What's the KY for?
For the rape they're about to throw upon you.
Ew.
So the problem is not every aircraft has not every aircraft has a modern radar altimeter. Both sides acknowledge that at least some altimeters are affected by signals from outside the attendant spectrum bands. To be clear, this is a malfunction, but it's a malfunction that wouldn't have been relevant before C-band came online, meaning C-band, the 5G band. As things stand now, it's not clear how many faulty altimeters are out there or how they respond to a flood of 5G traffic. And because even a single interference-related crash would be tragic, it's hard for airlines to feel secure about the rollout. Let me ask you a question. What is the most nerve-wracking thing about a flight?
The babies.
Okay. That does suck. I want to punch them in the face. I would like to, yeah. If you bring your kid on the plane, shut them the fuck up. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, other than that, turbulence?
The landing. The landing for me is because...
That's for you. I think it's the landing's fine. For me, it's takeoff and turbulence.
Yeah, turbulence can be, but the landing can be kind of dicey depending on how big of a plane you're on. Like, it's always turned out fine. I'm not scared. I'm just saying that's where the most, like, friction and action is coming in when you hear these planes landing.
You start jerking it when you start to land?
Yeah. Is that just like, when people choke themselves and they jerk too at the same time? Is that the same thing? Asphyxiation or something like that? Yeah, no, I don't do that, but... I could see you doing that, Mike. I could see Laura catching you doing that and walking into the room one day.
Why are you painting a picture for everybody? What are you doing?
She's like, oh, my God. Where's your mask at?
I'm in VR, landing on a VR plane.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Yeah, so are the airlines being bullies? I'm not sure. Why don't carriers give airlines more time to test their equipment? Verizon and AT&T are coming up against a deadline of their own. 5G-capable phones have been available in the U.S. for 2 years now, and carriers are expecting a flood of new customers. Notice how T-Mobile's not having this problem because they're actually, in the latest report, they are beating the shit out of them as far as 5G performance. That's based off of article I read on Phone Arena. But AT&T plans to shut down its 3G network entirely. So part of that is they want to shut down that network, and they want to launch 5G so they can have their customers on 4 and 5G. Right. So it's a cost thing. So... At the same time, T-Mobile is skating by without any of these problems that has been aggressively marketing its 5G network to draw away customers. So that's the thing. They're getting their ass kicked, and that's what it's about. So a lot more on that if you want to see. That's on The Verge. I'll throw that in the chat for you guys to see. There's more in that article. Thought it was interesting.
Brad said eating Taco Bell, then getting on a plane, having to use the bathroom 30 minutes in.
Yeah, that is rough. I remember I was on a plane and they served some kind of beef stroganoff and we hit some turbulence. And I'm not kidding you. There was 4 bathrooms on this giant plane. It's coming from London. One of those big planes. I forget what it's 757. I forget what it is, but really big. And 4 seats in the middle. You got 2 seats on the side or 3 seats on each side. And as soon as turbulence hit, everybody had to go to the shitter at once. Like there was a line at all 4 shitters.
So,
and I was stuck behind the biggest person I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going to tell you, after I got in there, toilet seat was warm.
Ew. Lars says, let me tell you, flying with a baby that's crying is so fucking stressful. I cried the whole time, too. Knowing I had no way out and that everyone hated us, it was one of my top 5 worst experiences.
I feel bad for her. I could just imagine her, people like looking at her. She's like, they just said they hated me in their head. Yeah.
And there you go with Gene's comment on the screen. Gene says, tell us you know nothing about wireless without telling us you know nothing about wireless.
That's funny. Well, everything I'm getting sourced from The Verge, so that's what they're saying based off reports from the company. and FAA and all that stuff, so and the FCC. I think it will be interesting to see how that plays out, but it's definitely a deadline of their own, and I just think I don't care what deadline's out there. I just mess with the landing gear just doesn't sit well with me. So maybe it's never a problem, and I hope it never is. But it could be. It could be. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the positive thing, which means everything just goes off without a hitch. I do like my my 5G internet on my T-Mobile phone in Philly.
Do you? What do you do with that 5G?
I use it. Yeah.
For what?
Internet on my phone.
But do you do anything? Okay, so 5G is supposed to be extra speed, right?
It's faster, yeah.
Yeah, do you do anything to take advantage or to show off that extra speed on your 5G? That's what I'm trying to get
You
at.
just do multiple things on your phone. Like, I could be streaming something. You're downloading video quicker. I mean, you're not going to see like...
I'm saying you're not doing any kind of xCloud streaming video games.
I've played video games.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I do tons of streaming, and I've played Xbox Game Pass on it, and I'm glad you brought that up because Xbox is about to become the king of the world because they bought Activision. Sorry, PS5 bitches, you're about to be bought.
Activision Blizzard, yes, and all of their subsidiaries.
They're saying they're gonna make these, and this should be happening anyway. They're gonna keep the games that they're buying from them cross-platform, as they should.
That is not true.
So
you're saying that they'll be on Sony and Xbox?
That's what they're saying.
No.
I'm reading it right now.
So here's what is said: PlayStation, Xbox has not made a statement. Xbox not made a statement. PlayStation has. PlayStation said that they expect Xbox to honor the contracts that are already in place between PlayStation and Activision as they are set in stone right now. What they expect to happen, what the experts are saying, is that Xbox will indeed honor, and Xbox hasn't made a statement, Xbox will indeed honor the contract up until the contract is done. Once the contract is done, then Xbox has the giant decision of whether or not they enable all IPs to stay cross-platform or to make them Xbox exclusives. This is why, as soon as we found out that they paid $60 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard, Sony stock dropped 20 million or 20 billion. I forget if it was an M or a B, but a lot right away because the stockholders and everybody realized, oh shit, Microsoft is cornering the market.
Gene, tell me you don't know about wireless without saying anything. So you're saying they're capped at 150, but I see 166 down on T-Mobile right now. So, you might be a little biased there because you're a Verizon guy, but that's not on the Wi-Fi network either. It's 166. We can do it again. Hold on, let's see. Here we go. Let's you can zoom in there, Mike. Oh, look at that. We're up to oh my God. You even went faster right there. Let me just make sure that's not on Wi-Fi now. And nope, it's not. That last one was on Wi-Fi. The one before that was not. It's not getting 500 megabytes per second. There's no way in hell.
Now we get to watch Gene and Godfrey have their own conversation about speeds on their phone.
Yeah, I'm talking about down. Everybody always, Xfinity advertises they're down. Verizon does up and down, and they're pretty even. And I think Fios is the best internet service. That's for sure, in my opinion. But maybe that's because I hate Comcast, as a lot of us do. Don't you hate Comcast, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm pulling more than 150 megabytes on my phone, so I don't know about that. So tell me you don't know about wireless without telling me you don't know about wireless. But Gene does. He just doesn't like T-Mobile. I like T-Mobile. They got me with customer service. I had AT&T for years.
Tune in tomorrow for Birds Deep as we have a phone off.
Birds wireless. Wireless birds.
But yeah, I've been paying attention to that Xbox thing very, very closely because it all feeds into the whole metaverse and gaming and VR, so...
Well, here's the thing about that. They're saying there's a slight chance that it might not get approved through the FCC or the FTC.
FTC right now is investigating Meta with VR for the same thing, and yeah, it might not. So right now they've made an agreement that they're going to buy it, but they do have to go through all the regulatory checks and balances through the government and through business practices to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Now, the fact is, it is a big blow to the gaming community in terms of competition because now Xbox owns, 343 Studios. They own Microsoft Gaming Studios. They own Bethesda, which has a lot of AAA titles underneath it. Now with Activision, and with Activision comes Blizzard, which is unbelievably high player count AAA games. So it's huge. It's really big. And Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, so many high games.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit what?
Remember that game?
Yes, I do.
I never played it.
I'm old too.
Yeah. But you did play that game, I bet, didn't you? Have you ever played that game?
Yes, I played it.
I never played that game.
I played it on friggin' MS-DOS.
Wow. Yeah, so monopolies aren't good for the economy in general. And I don't think Monopoly would be good in this situation.
But is it? But see, it's a weird thing. Monopolies aren't good, but at the same token, do you fault a company for succeeding and getting to that level? See, like WWE. WWE is a monopoly within wrestling.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but for the longest time. He bought out his competition, WCW. And the real only major player in the field was WWE, and that was because Vince McMahon fought and clawed his way to the top.
No, he actually crossed the line and bought all the regionals, and that was a no-no until he decided to go against that. His dad was alive. He was like, fuck you, you're not doing that. His dad died, and then he did do that. He used to be solely stationed in the Northeast, and then he started buying up all the other
But you understand what I'm getting at. Like, but again, it was a good strategy. He pulled it off.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's not a bad strategy, but we're necessarily we think company big, they must be doing great. This wasn't something that was allowed until Reagan got in. And then when you consolidate, and more video games might be a little bit different, but it is a big industry, bigger than people realize. But you know, when you consolidate things like that, it costs jobs, and here's the problem with it. The other problem is not the jobs piece, the competition piece. And I'm going to tell you how you're feeling that yourself, Mike, right now. Sometimes we have a problem with Comcast here. By the way, Comcast, if you listen, fuck you. And
don't shut off our internet.
Yeah, why do we have a problem with Comcast? Because they're the only motherfucker in the area, right? Fios had to sue to be part of the market, right? And I don't have the particulars of that. Was years ago, but they are. And for a while in Philadelphia, a major metropolitan city, all I had to choose from was Comcast. Fios is there. I said buy Comcast because they pissed me off, you know, and I've never looked back, and it's been great. Now, not to say you can't be happy with Xfinity, but you know, the problem is when you even get it down to 1, 2, or 3 companies, you can have a duopoly, right? There's certain industries where they fix price, and that's the problem. If it's 1 or 2 companies, it's not really capitalism because they're fixing the price and they're cornering the market. And what these companies want to do is develop scarcity for the product where you have to go through them. And that's, I don't know if that's going to happen in the video game industry because it's a whole different ball of wax by itself.
But at the same token, like I'm not going to use the Xbox. I'm going to use the Oculus Quest 2 scenario here, like because
but they made that.
The FTC, but the FTC is going after Oculus because of their practices within the VR realm. Now, and they're kind of cornering the market because they have the top headset, the best software for it at the lowest price, and nobody else can compete with them. Now, I don't think that you should fault somebody for building the better product and being able to sell it at a bigger discount.
There's other alternatives out there that people can buy.
There are other alternatives right now to VR, but nobody's
How much
buying
are they?
them. That's the thing. I think the lowest priced one is I think $700 or $800, whereas you're going with Oculus, you're going for $299.
Well, and they probably have a bigger distribution.
Bigger
than
distribution.
Anybody else, right?
And they have the only wireless headset.
All right, so I'll give you another
that
example.
could go on PC too.
I'm Amazon. You say, hey, you make socks. I want you to sell your socks on my platform, right?
Right.
Amazon gets a piece of your product. They in turn handle customer service. They warehouse it. They ship it out. They take returns, etc. So you make this product, and Amazon has been called to the carpet for this. And then Amazon decides to make their own Amazon Basics version, and then bump that right above what you just made.
They already do that.
They do that. And they've been called out for it, and people have been still going after them for it.
I mean, Walmart does it with great value. ShopRite does it with their brand. Everybody does that.
Yeah, but you're not selling your homemade socks on ShopRite.com. And that Amazon's a whole different infrastructure in itself, right? Like, they can make their own product, which is fine, but they're saying that they say, come sell the product. You have the product, and they're like, okay, now we're going to make something just like yours and put it right above the one that they stole the idea from. You know, that's fucked up. Like, it's like if I made my Oculus headset, and then Amazon's like, you know what? We made an Amazon Basics VR, and we're going to sell it for $140. right above your $199.
But then it all comes down to which one is the better product. Like, again, with the Walmart scenario, and I understand where you're going
with this. If you control the advertising and what people can see, that's not exactly a free market. You're paying to be in their marketplace.
Okay, so Walmart can control what is at eye level, what you see first, which is their great value. Now, their great value brand, a lot of people don't like to buy it because it's not as good of quality. It doesn't taste as good as the main brand.
We're talking about food, right?
Yeah, we're talking about food.
Okay.
But I'm going to go one step further. If the socks that Amazon's selling is Amazon Basics, and they're not as comfortable, not as high quality as the other socks that they're bumping out, I don't think that most people are going to prefer that. There are going to be cheapskates that say, well, this is good enough. But for the grand scheme of things...
We love cheap shit in America. What are you talking about?
We do.
That's why China is like a monster, because we love buying cheap shit.
We do, but there's always going to be the middle ground, the people out there that want the quality. Like I said, I could go buy a shitty VR headset. I could go buy a shitty video game system. I can go buy shitty food. But... if you've got the choice, you're going to go for the quality.
Yeah, it's unfair.
As long as it's not like, I'm not talking about quality like you're going.
It's unfair marketing practices if you're going to basically like shade out those ones, you know.
And I'm talking about quality like normal industry quality products. I'm not talking about the hoity-toity stuff that's going to, a bottle of beer that costs, $50. I'm not talking about the high-end stuff. I'm talking about the regular, middle of the road.
Yeah, they've been stealing ideas from third parties, and this is like something even Fox, MSNBC, all these guys even report on, and they're like, probably, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. I mean, even all these people report on it, and our government almost does fucking nothing. They actually even had meetings on this, which is funny. But me personally, I look at ratings and I look at certain things, but I know there's certain things that if you sell cheaper that people are going to buy, like batteries, for example, Amazon Basics battery.
Nope.
You're not buying Amazon Basics?
Amazon Basics I will buy, but there are cheaper versions than Amazon Basics that I won't buy anymore, like Kodak.
Well, those are dollar store batteries.
Right. That's why when you said that, it's right where my brain went, because I've gone down that road and bought those.
But that's been known for generations that you're buying your mom's buying a dollar store battery, you're fucked. You're going to be like, well, I'm going to be having this in the fridge by the end of the night.
As soon as you said that, that's where my brain went, because I remember buying that stuff because I was super cheap and realizing it lasts like a couple of weeks.
Remember your parents complaining about how expensive fucking batteries are?
Uh-huh.
And like, and you put them in the fridge?
Yeah, but now I know why the complaint was there, because, God damn it, kids go through batteries like nobody's business.
Is that happening to you now?
Uh-huh. Just leave something on all night long, and the next day...
Isn't everything rechargeable? I mean...
No.
I mean, the Game Boy, you need a battery.
And I think that the kids' toys are in cahoots with the toy company, because the toy
company and can own part of that.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, there's a monopoly. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, because everything is AA or AAA batteries. I even had one that was D batteries, which nobody gets D batteries. I had to buy those friggin' special order.
Back in the day, you used to...
It took like 5 of them.
You'd be stealing the 9-volt battery out of the smoke detector, because when you had to use a 9-volt for certain handhelds. Now that's not even the case anymore.
But no, the Amazon batteries are good quality batteries, and they last a long time. If you could,
I think Energizer is better than them.
If you could do something for a cheaper price and make it quality, again, going back to the Quest 2, and make it quality, that's where the market's going to go.
But
and you should not be penalized for that.
Okay, but see, if you're doing fair business practices that's laid out by the law. Remember, this is law, not opinion.
But they are. The law always... they are doing fair... But that's...
You or I don't
know
that
whole idea of a, quote, monopoly is really somebody else's opinion on whether or not you're getting to monopoly state.
No,
because right now...
Really. They got to
right now, the FTC... Right, the FTC is investigating... And I'm sorry I keep on bringing up Quest, but it's the one I pay attention to because I do invest in all this stuff. But the whole idea is... They're investigating them when, as of right now, there is 4 or 5 other companies that are in the game of VR headsets. PlayStation just announced their PlayStation VR 2 headset that will be coming out. So to say that they've got a monopoly in any way, as of right now, is ludicrous in my opinion.
Well, that might be. I don't know enough about that particular one. but that might be pertinent to that situation. But it's their job to investigate these things. Like, I'll give you, when I worked for AT&T years ago, they tried to buy T-Mobile, and there was a clause in there, if the merger didn't go through, they had to pay T-Mobile, I think, $6 billion or something like that. And that ended up happening because they striked it down. I think the government didn't like the deal, and there's certain things you have to do to get that to go through, because it does eliminate a lot of competition, eliminates jobs, even though they say it doesn't. And they're just really going for the spectrum, so they're going to hollow out all the other expenses. So, now, years later, T-Mobile was able to buy Sprint, and they have come a long way since I remember them when, I'm talking early 2000s, it was like, oh, T-Mobile, that's not going to work for you. Or it was like Voice Stream before that or some shit. And, they got it to pass, but they had to make certain concessions. One of the concessions was they had to bring broadband internet, wireless internet to rural areas, right? And they had to sell off certain parts to certain I think pieces of spectrum to certain companies like Dish TV and things of that nature. So they did that, and they were able to get it pushed through. But AT&T got slapped down, and I don't think they're not hurting as a company. I don't think they've ever recovered from that, because they've made a lot of big purchases, like AOL, Warner, HBO, all that shit. And I remember working for them. Oh, we can't afford to pay your bonuses, but we just bought like $9 billion worth of shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Disney with Lucas films and with Marvel and all this other stuff.
Well, that was because they wanted to get into the streaming world, because it was all moving away from like ESPN and all these things. And, they're like, we're going to own this now. Netflix, you can't have that anymore. By the way, Netflix keeps raising their prices up, you notice, huh?
Well, they just recently raised them up again. Which still, I think they're a good deal for everything they offer.
All right, so the Disney bundle's $13.99, right?
Uh-huh.
So why are they? It says, I want to talk about this. Why Netflix keeps cranking up the prices every year? So it's $15.50 a month now. That's your standard package. HBO Max is $15. I'm a big fan of HBO Max. The Disney bundle is $14 per month. So, that's what happened. All these cable companies, like Comcast owns part of NBC and all that. They're like, oh, we're going to buy all this back now. We own the pipes. Now we want to get our content back because we're getting our ass kicked and people are canceling cable left and right. That's,
So I think that Netflix is raising I don't think you just said this, and I might have spaced out for a second, but I think that they are raising their prices because they are losing their original content. Not their original content. They're losing their partnered content, and they need to make more original content, episodic shows, movies, and stuff like that to keep everybody on board with Netflix. So they need that extra money from everybody
it sucks for Netflix
to be able to produce these high-end television shows and movies.
Netflix was like, when were they one of the first ones to make their own content, like streaming platform?
I believe so.
So yeah, now everybody's copying them, and it's like there's so much shit
but Amazon Prime, like they got The Boys and they got Upload and shit, like so many other services. I think have such better content, and it's very difficult to combat with somebody like Amazon for their Amazon Prime service or Disney, because they all have other sources of revenue that can then fund the streaming service, whereas Netflix, that's all they got.
They're going to spend $230 billion in 2022 on that, and they have had to spend a lot. And guess what? It better be good, because if it's not good, it's going to fucking flop.
Mm-hmm.
So you better be having some really good shit out there.
Call up Godfrey; he'll give you $1 million ideas.
Oh yeah, all day long. Put me on the board, Netflix. Let's go.
They'll be late.
Yeah,
and it'll take a while, and some of his shit won't work.
Yep.
But the ideas will be gold.
Yeah, the ideas will be gold. Working will have to be my problem. They'll have to make it happen. They're the one. I'll give them the vision, and they just got to give the money. But Netflix, I share a subscription with a friend, so I don't know how often I find myself on Netflix these days.
Netflix, get them.
Yeah. I heard that they want to share. They want people not to share.
Of course. Who doesn't either share their Netflix account or uses somebody else's account?
I'm going to tell you, if they do that, it's going to backfire on them, because people are going to say, fuck it, I don't need it. Because I was thinking this the other day. Like, I always keep a rolling, like, I just resubscribed to Disney Plus for Boba Fett. Before that, I canceled it. I was like, I don't fucking need it. I'm not watching it. I don't want to watch Dumbo and shit like that. And, Hawkeye I heard is great, but like it's like okay, how many Marvel series are we gonna have? Like, all right, I there's only so much time in a day. So how many streaming services can you take advantage of? And my core one is Sling TV because you still get on-demand content and you get all your channels. So I'm not even getting my own Netflix. Fuck that. I don't even watch it. So, but I trade with people too. Like, I have an HBO Max subscription, so I'll trade with my buddy, and he'll,
It's not Pokemon cards, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm paying half. You're paying full price. So I'll trade, and that's the way. I mean, they have it built in. If they start trying to have like detections of like, where you're, sharing your thing. I mean, they have it set up where you can only stream so many screens at a time. If they want to go beyond that, people are going to cancel. They'll lose money. It will backfire on them. 100% it will.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't want to do that. Why are you laughing as me too? I saw that. Someone laughed as me. I don't remember putting a laugh on their Taking It Deep with Godfrey. It's an imposter laugh. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
I've actually, Laura just commented, I paid $140 for 3 years at Disney. I don't have to pay regular fees until November. Now, I want to sit down with her.
She's an early adopter, though.
To sit down with your significant other and to go over how much you're actually spending on streaming services. I would love to I'm going to do this, but I can't wait to see what the price is paid for streaming services, because so many people had this idea that they were going to cut the cord. They're going to save the money. Why am I paying so much on cable? But now every streaming service that comes out, everybody needs every single one. You want to see somebody have a panic attack.
It's still going to be cheaper, though.
Anytime that I look at my girl or my mother and I tell them, you know what, I'm looking at the budget, I think we got to cut maybe 1 or 2 streaming services. You want to see them friggin' act like a kid was just told they're getting no presents for Christmas. Oh, my God.
Well, here's the thing about streaming services. The key here is you have to have a good internet plan to cut down your cost. You have to buy your own equipment, meaning like you can't be renting the equipment from Comcast, Verizon, whoever it may be, because they charge you $15 a month, and after like 6 months, you could have bought your own anyway. That makes your bill go down because you get charged tax on that. Then you get charged tax on all these regulatory fees that they want to pass down to you, because it's not law that you have to pay it. The company passes it down to you for you to pay. So Mike wants to talk about accepted things like tipping. How about that being accepted? You got to pay these regulatory fees, Mr. Comcast, but we're going to pass it down to the customer's bill. That's what they do. They pass it down to you. And that's why, when you're streaming, you don't have to pay all this bullshit. And that's part of the reason you get away from it. And part of the reason there's such a big gap between doing streaming services and internet alone is because you're probably paying $20 on up just in taxes and rental equipment, especially if you have 2 or 3 DVRs. The Fire Stick has really killed that, and to me, it's the way to go. Now you can get local TV through a lot of these services too. Mike's right though. Too many streaming services, I think, to me, it's got to be strategic. You got to pick 2 or 3 shows you're watching at a time, and then you subscribe to those, and then you cancel when you're done watching them. You know what I mean?
I love that way of thinking. It doesn't fly very often.
Unless, what Laura did, a lot of Disney early adopters did. And, having a young kid, I could see, with Disney, it's a different thing there. And if you're paying how much for 3 years, $140? That's pretty cheap.
Gene is going off because you don't use your own account. He said, "Do you even have your own name on the account, Dork?" He probably logs in under John.
No, I have my own profile on it. Just because I'm smart and not overpaying for cable, and being in contracts. That's another thing too. When you go to, that's another thing these assholes do at Verizon and Comcast. Oh, you want to change your plan? Yeah, that's a 2-year contract. Fuck that. What are you giving me for 2 years? Like, are you giving me free equipment? Like, when I used to be in wireless, you made people sign a contract because you were giving them a phone that was $800 for $200. And, for them, you become profitable. You had to be 18 months into the contract as a company. Like, for me, $4 a month is a bargain for Disney. Now, I do Disney Plus. It's $13.99. I don't give a fuck about Hulu. And when I cancel that, I'll buy ESPN Plus. And those little sneaky fuckers jump that up $1. When I'm not watching the Star Wars series, because that's the only thing on there that I have to see. that I want to see.
I would love, and I'm going to put this idea out there. Somebody can take it. You'll end up on Shark Tank. You'll make millions. People will buy this up if you can come up with a way to do this.
Do what?
An app where you log into all your streaming services.
You mean Cody?
Slow down. An app where you log into all your streaming services. But with this app, it will calculate how much time you spend watching each streaming service each month.
They have a thing called Truebill that will do
and
it
how
for
much
money.
you're paying for. Yeah, the Truebill will show you what subscriptions you have, what reoccurring. I have that one. It's reoccurring subscriptions, which ones I think maybe you could do without, and it shows you and it alerts you because people will have subscriptions they forget about. Like I did that with Xbox Game Pass at one time. I forgot I even had it. And that's what they're doing that for. But imagine being able to see how much time you spend watching something. Because my whole philosophy with this is, if you watch enough to cover the cost of any system, and you get your money's worth of entertainment out of it, then it's worth it. But if you're not getting enough out of it, there's no reason to have it. You just have it because you're fear of missing out on something.
Well, if you're not a sports fan, it's a lot easier. If you're a sports fan, it's a lot harder because that's live, and these companies pay mega dollars to have sports fans there. But it's, it's live. So even as a sports fan, there's different options out there. I mean, shit. It just depends what you want to watch. But with football, you can buy Sunday Ticket. I did, and even with Sling TV, you can get Red Zone. And Sling TV, if you want live TV, is the best value. I think you got to just look at what channels you actually watch, like what channels you like. And for me, Sling TV has the channels I like. But there's a lot of pulling away of content too. Like Discovery is on Sling TV, but they took a lot of their on-demand content off it because they want you to buy the Discovery app, right? And I'm not doing that. Fuck you. So I will find it on YouTube if I can't find it, because there's only so many hours in a day you can devote to watching it, right? Like there's just, and I agree. Like sometimes they get you because it's like, oh, it's $4.99 a month. Like I subscribed to Stars for 3 months because there was this what was it called? Heels. It was a wrestling drama called.
Oh yeah.
And that was really good. I think season 2 is not going to be out for fucking ever, so cancel that. And there was Black Sails is like a Game of Thrones pirate type one that I was watching. I bought that and it was like $3 for 3 months, so $9 total. And I bought that to watch it specifically because I tried watching it on Hulu, that bullshit they give you with the ESPN Plus bundle, and they fucking play a commercial every fucking minute and a half. I can't stand it. I'm like, and you're just like, I'm just gonna pay for it. But I purposely won't upgrade to Hulu because I'm not letting them torture me and make me pay. So I just think, if you can narrow it down to 4 or 5 channels that you really watch, if you can, you can do the Air TV recast. You can even do Sling TV. Even if you don't have a Sling TV subscription, you can pipe your local channels right through it with an antenna through a thing they call Air TV. So I mean, even if you get, live TV and you pull an antenna, I stepped up my brother with it. You can pull like 68 channels for free.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like it's a ton of channels. I'm not even joking. But for a sports fan, it's kind of tough. But you got to watch out. Like even T-Mobile gives you a year of Paramount Plus for free, and T-Mobile gives you Netflix for free as well if you're on a family plan. So you take advantage of those type of deals. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, streaming, man, it's the way to go. Like you buy internet now, and that's the way people in our age bracket and even below are going to do it. Like cable is dying. If you have traditional cable TV, it's getting rare and rare. It's the new home phone. Like you're gonna be like, you have a home phone? The only reason people have a home phone these days is very rare people do. It's because they made you bundle it in with your cable package.
Home is where you make it.
Yeah, home is where you make it. So
I like to see what? Oh,
yeah, I like. But I'm a big streamer. I mean, I think the best platform for streaming is really using Amazon.
You want to sling together?
Yeah. Oh, you have Sling too?
Yeah, we can sling together.
Oh, nice. You get upgrade to the family package, and then I could put my profile in there that says John. But yeah, I do that now. I share with there's a guy that lives above me, and we just share the logins where I live, and we split it down the middle. If I was alone though, I probably wouldn't have a full subscription because I just don't have time to watch all that. It's just hard. And you know, everything's on demand now. It's not like you have to watch it live, you know, except sports. And I'm a sports fan, so that's where they get you. But even then, it's had to become cheaper because the new watcher, like, you know, Warren's probably the youngest one in the room. Warren, could you envision yourself getting to cable TV? Like,
I have cable at the crib right now.
But are you all right? I'm not making fun of you. You live by yourself? You live with the parents?
No, I live with one of my homies.
So you guys are splitting it.
Well, he works actually for Xfinity. So
okay. Well, see, he gets it free, right?
Yeah.
So if I worked for Xfinity, I would have the whole fucking setup.
I tried to get a job with Xfinity. Just one of the reasons was because of that perk.
Yeah, that's saving you. Like, you get everything. It's like a $200 a month perk. Yeah, and internet's free too for him.
Yeah, I mean, cause he works on the finance side. Like, he's not like, you know, like going out like installing. He literally is like a chartered financial analyst, something like that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, all right. But if you lived alone, or would you pay
Fire Stick all day?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's what I did when I had my own apartment.
Yep,
Fire Stick, and I used to just crack streams.
I used to split it with 4 guys. We all rented this big house, and it was costing about $200 a month. But we split it about 4 ways, and then they were trying to get me to keep that bill going.
So they
right,
can all use
and
it.
they were like, "Oh, you can't do that, sir. You're in a contract." I'm like, "So I'm not canceling, sir. I just want to go down the internet." And you're saying I've been with you for how long? And they said, "Well, you did this and you changed your contract." I'm like, "Show me that contract," and they couldn't produce it, so they had to let me just get internet only. So
yeah, that's how they do you.
Yeah, internet. These cable companies, man, they're fucking pirates. But anyway, with that being said, folks, thanks for listening in. Thanks for tuning in. We didn't get to talk about a couple other things, but that's all right. We'll bring it back next week because I'm pretty sure it will still be there. Everybody COVID baiting and all that bullshit going around. It just seems like it's the never-ending bullshit cycle. But thanks for tuning in. You know where to find me. Amazon, iTunes, you know, all that shit. Google, Taking It Deep with the Godfrey. Share it with your mom. If she's single, I'm single now. Let me know. Give me a picture. And with that being said, this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.